A detective haunted by his past is forced back into a deadly game of cat and mouse. And we find the killer isn't just a murderer but his old friend with a twisted obsession. In the beginning of the film, we're thrown into a tense chase scene. Police officers are hot on the heels of a man named David Allen Griffin, a meticulous and terrifying serial killer. Just as they're about to corner him, the scene abruptly cuts away, leaving his fate uncertain. We then meet Joel Campbell, a former detective now living a quiet life in a new city, clearly trying to escape his past. He's in a session with his therapist, Dr. Polly Beelman, who is recording their conversation. Joel reveals that Griffin isn't just a killer, he's a hunter who never leaves a trace. He's always one step ahead, making him almost impossible to catch. Joel describes Griffin's chilling method in detail. The killer first selects a woman, then watches her for weeks, learning her schedule and habits. He observes how she protects herself at night, gathering every detail he can. When he finally feels ready, he strikes, entering her home and waiting for her to return from a long day. She listens to everything he says, helpless and terrified, filled with pain and fear. Joel explains, his words painting a vivid and disturbing picture. Emotionally drained, Joel ends the session abruptly and returns to his apartment, where a memory of his deceased girlfriend, Lisa, flashes in his mind. Later, Joel returns to his building to find it surrounded by police tape. A woman has been murdered. Detective Mackey stops him, informing him of the crime. Joel explains that he lives there, but Mackey hands him a card, asking him to share any information he might have. The next day, Joel discovers a set of letters in his mailbox. Inside are photos of murdered women. He takes them to Mackey's office, who is shocked. "This is a serial killer case we've been working on," Mackey says. "But it's strange that he's sending the pictures to you." Joel reveals that he spent years tracking a killer with the same pattern, David Allen Griffin. He believes Griffin has moved to the city to continue his deadly series of murders. When Mackey asks if he has ever seen the killer, Joel simply says, "I have never seen him." Meanwhile, we see David Allen Griffin in a photo studio, calmly taking pictures of a woman named Ellie. He seems completely at ease, a stark contrast to the chaos he creates. A man named Abby, the chief of the Chicago Police Department's assistant, later offers Joel a job in exchange for his help with the case. He reminds him that he was removed from the force due to his mental health and that this is a second chance. Joel, however, declines, stating he can't focus on his work. He then goes to Lisa's grave, still feeling the weight of his past. The feeling of being watched lingers as he finally returns to his apartment and falls asleep. Joel then gets a chilling phone call from David. "Why did you come here? You never leave your apartment anymore," David taunts. "You've gotten lazy, and I'm disappointed. But don't worry, there are beautiful girls here." Joel's voice is filled with anger. "So you've started your sick game here too. But you won't get away with it for long. I'm going to stop you." David's tone remains calm and menacing. "Remember, it's not easy to catch me. But I'll help you out. I'll send you photos and you'll have one day to save them. The first one will arrive tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. He then hangs up. The next day, Joel receives the promised photos and immediately takes them to the police department. He shows them to Abby, who tells him he's already spoken with the chief and they have a plan. Joel, however, insists that the photos be analyzed for any hidden clues. Abby then holds a press conference, telling reporters that the FBI and Chicago police are searching for the woman in the photos, Ellie, and asks the public for help. Ellie's face is plastered all over the news and flyers. The police question people but get no leads. Joel and the detectives rush to the mall where Ellie works, only to find she has already left. Joel manages to get Ellie's phone number from a coworker at the photo studio where the pictures were taken. Meanwhile, a terrified Ellie is at home. Just as the clock strikes 9 p.m., David breaks in and kills her. Joel calls Ellie, but David answers. "I want to talk to Ellie," Joel says, pretending to be her boss. "Ellie doesn't want to talk to you," David replies, his voice cold and menacing. "I recognize your voice." He hangs up, and Joel races to Ellie's apartment, only to find her dead. The following day, Joel is heading to Dr. Polly's clinic. Unbeknownst to him, David is in the elevator with him. David watches which floor Joel goes to, then gets off on a different floor. Because Joel has never seen David, he is completely unaware of the killer's close presence. In his session, Joel tells Dr. Polly he's joined the police department again. "How do you feel about being back at work?" she asks. "I feel good," he says. "I'm handling the murderer's case." Concerned, she asks if he's afraid, since the killer followed him to Chicago. "I don't think I'm afraid of him," Joel replies. "He's been a part of my life for so many years. He is an important character in the story of my life," Joel says, his voice heavy with a mix of resignation and obsession. Just then his phone rings. It's Abby, and he wants him at the office immediately. At the police station, Joel sees that David has sent a photo of another woman. Her name is Jessica. Soon, Jessica's photo is all over the news, and reporters announce that she is the killer's next victim. Her frantic mother sees the report on TV and calls the police. Joel and a few officers rush to her home. Jessica's mother explains that her daughter had only called her 3 times since moving to Chicago and that she often sounded confused and wasn't making much sense. She also mentions that Jessica has a boyfriend and works at a coffee shop. As they leave, Joel calls Abby and tells him to check for any coffee shops where a girl named Jessica works. But Abby reports back that he has already checked many places and no one by that name is employed at any of them. Meanwhile, Jessica is talking to a friend. Her friend says she has to leave, and Jessica is left alone. She falls asleep, and that's when David appears. The police, including Joel, are showing Jessica's photo to people all over the city. Joel shows the picture to a young man, who turns out to be Jessica's friend. Seeing the photo, he panics and tries to run away. Joel chases him, tackles him, and demands to know where Jessica is. "Tell me about your friend," he shouts. "She's going to die in an hour." The terrified young man leads Joel to a building where Jessica is hiding. But she runs away again, and David finds her, kills her, and escapes. Joel chases David across the rooftops and watches him get into a car and drive away. The police also pursue David, but he pulls into a gas station. As they approach, he throws a lighter, causing a massive explosion. He then flees in his car and drives to Dr. Polly's clinic. He breaks in, steals Joel's recorded therapy tape, and listens to it in his car. Back at the police station, another package arrives for Joel. Inside is a photo of his late girlfriend, Lisa. Joel is then shown in the hospital, completely distraught. He's overwhelmed with depression and guilt because he couldn't save Jessica. On a nearby TV, a news report shows a photo of the murder of his own girlfriend, Lisa. This makes Joel realize that 3 years ago, Lisa went after David to kill him, but he couldn't stop her. He thinks in his mind that she went to kill David, but he wasn't able to kill her because Joel arrived and saved Lisa. After that realization, Joel races to Lisa's house. However, it's too late. A fire, started by a candle, has engulfed the house, and Lisa is dead. Overcome with grief, Joel leaves the hospital and goes to Lisa's grave. It is there that he finally sees David. A flash of recognition hits Joel. He had seen David at Dr. Polly's clinic. "You came here for this girl," David says, his voice a twisted mix of admiration and bitterness. "I have to accept your love." Joel, enraged, tells David to surrender. "Stop this nonsense. What is all this? Just give yourself up." "I won't accept defeat so easily," David replies. Joel pulls out his gun, but David quickly warns him. "If you shoot me, your friend Polly will not survive." He shows Joel a bloody card belonging to Dr. Polly, proving his threat is real. Desperate, Joel hands David his gun and asks what he's done with Polly. David tells him to come with him, and they drive off in his car. As they drive, Joel secretly calls Abby and leaves the line open, allowing him to trace his location. David, unaware of the call, begins to talk. "We were good friends in the beginning. You are like a brother to me. Why did you leave the job? Why do you spend so much time with Polly?" Joel tries to reason with him. "I like her. Why don't you just surrender to the police?" David's twisted obsession becomes clear. "Our relationship was very old, but Lisa came between us and you forgot about me," he says, revealing his motive. They arrive at an abandoned building with a water tank on the roof. Inside, David has tied up Dr. Polly, surrounded by gas cylinders. As Joel enters, David hits him, knocking him unconscious. When Joel wakes up, he is tied to a chair. David, angry that Joel called the police, rants, "In the end, you called them. You shouldn't have done that." He then grabs Dr. Polly and starts dancing with her. "Leave her alone," Joel shouts. "Don't force women." In response, David shoots Joel in the foot. "There's no shortage of girls in Chicago," he says. "She died because of my mistake," Joel says, referring to Lisa. "No, it wasn't a mistake," David says. "The mistake was you coming between us. You knew I loved her. Why did you interfere? You knew I loved her." Joel pleads with him, "Look, have you come to Chicago to take revenge for that mistake? Just forget all this. I'll show you how to get out of here. Go to another country. Go away from here." "Why are you telling me to go away from here?" David asks. He then hits Polly in the neck with a wire, but Joel, seeing his opportunity, thanks David. Surprised, David lets go of Polly and moves toward Joel. "Say it again," David demands. "Thank you," Joel says again, and in that moment he stabs David in the neck. David falls, knocking over several candles and starting a fire. He gets back up and stabs Joel with a gun, but Joel manages to grab another gun and shoot David, who falls down again. The police outside try to force the door open, but it's jammed. This scene echoes the opening of the movie. Joel grabs Polly and moves her away from the flames. Just then, the gas cylinders, which have been on a timer, explode. The police outside are also caught in the blast. Joel, now with Polly, finds David, who has stood up from the fire. Joel and Polly jump out of a window into a nearby body of water to escape the inferno. David, his face now severely burned, jumps in after them. The police pull Polly out of the water, and Joel goes to look for David. They find his badly burned body and pull it out of the water, finally ending the serial killer's reign of terror. David is dead, and the movie concludes. If you like this movie, then comment and like it. If you are new to the channel, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.